Facebook, and our social media world. My name is Broderick Taylor. I'm with TFT Organization. Hey, welcome to the Fort Wealthy Word Podcast Show. We are here at Streetside Classic, one of our sponsors. We are here at our monthly Caffeine Classic and Community event. And welcome to the Fort Wealthy Word Podcast Show. We have a special guest, the owner, the one and only, from Painless Performance Products. We got Mr. Dennis. Mr. Dennis, thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Yes,
Glad
sir.
to be
Yes,
here.
sir. Now, I didn't want to butcher the last name, so I wanted you to.
Okay, it's called Overholser.
Overholser.
Yep, four syllables, Overholser. Yep.
Overholser. I got it now. I got it. So now, our next one, I will be introducing his full name. We're going to be over at Poly High School. We're going to be actually using the harness. Mr. Dennis here is one of our sponsors from Painters, of course. We have a 1984 C10 truck that we're building up. The kids at the Fort Worth ISD School, Poly, Dunbar, ODY, Trimble Tech. Did I miss anybody? Northside? Northside. So these kids are all building up this truck from frame up, for scholarship money. And so what we're doing and what Painless is helping us out with is teaching our kids about automotive training. Would you agree that not all the kids are going to college these days and they need to be in this field?
No, you're by far much better off if you don't go to college in this time.
Right.
The skilled trades they outpay the college kids, and the college kids, most of them take classes that you can't get a job with, that type of situation. So
Right.
yeah, I am 100% behind technical schools.
Good deal. So
In fact, I went to one myself.
you went to one. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's all I'm about to dive into. Tell me a little bit about it. So we know you're the owner of Painless. We know you wrote a couple of books. What's the name of your books? You want to get into
It's
that?
hot rod wiring.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
okay.
3 different ones. I had one come out in the 90s, then one in the 2000s, and the newest one is still on the marketplace through Amazon.
Okay.
But it's all about hot rod, trucks and so forth, different wiring, fuel injection, all those type of things.
Okay. So how long has the company existed? Tell me that.
Started it in 1990.
Okay.
I built the first harness and displayed it at the Fort Worth Car Show back in March of 1990 in a 37 Ford. And my theory was to build a harness that is as complete as possible for underneath the dash, and then you lay the wires out and you customize it to your particular vehicle. Because we were in the street rod business at that.
Okay, that's what I was going to get into next.
And so everybody's street rods are different.
Right.
And you may have a Chevrolet or Ford or whatever it might be.
Yes, sir.
But this one harness will fit them all because it's customizable to your vehicle.
There you
That
go.
was the whole theory behind the project.
All right, so Painless started in the 1990s. How did you get there? You mentioned using hot rods. So tell me the before Painless. Give me a little backdrop on it.
We'll start pretty much at the beginning. How's
Okay,
that?
there we go.
Okay, I was raised on a corn farm in Indiana
Okay.
and graduated out of high school and went through 4 years of industrial arts.
Okay.
Automotive,
Yes, sir.
woodworking, all the different things that were all offered at the time.
Yes, sir.
And so I did that, graduated in 65 and was working at a Chevrolet car dealership in the cleanup area,
Okay, make ready, clean
And
up,
then,
and all that.
then I went, I applied for school in Nashville, Tennessee for the Nashville Auto Diesel College.
Okay.
And I went there until Uncle Sam knocked on my door and says, young man, it's time for you to come to the military.
There you go.
Of course, we had the draft and everything there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I did not really want to go into the Army, so I went down and had real high SAT scores in electronics and mechanical. So I went to the Air Force, and they took me the same day. And
Just to let y'all know, if you're in the Air Force, you're smart. I just put it like that. If you're in the Army and the Marines like myself, you're not too smart. So, all right, so we know now Mr. Dennis is smart. All right, continue.
Anyway, so I went in the military and kind of a unique story, but because my aptitude tests were all higher in electronics than they were mechanical,
Yes, sir.
they put me in the electronics school at Chenaloo Air Force Base in Illinois. Well, about 2 months in, I found out what was going to happen. When I graduated, they were going to put me in a silo down about 300 feet below ground
Right, right.
with the Minuteman missiles.
Right.
Well, claustrophobia set in on that deal, so no, this isn't going to work. So I flunked,
Okay. Okay.
and my captain was livid. I mean, he was not a happy guy.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause he knew your abilities.
Well, yeah, they when they assign you with something, they expect you to do it.
Exactly.
So he called me in and we talked about it, and I said, he says, Airman, just what is it you want to do? I says, I want to be a mechanic, sir. He says, you nuts? And yeah, that's what he said. And
I can see that.
and he says, we talked some more and more and more. And then at the end of the conversation, he says, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to transfer you out of the 60th Squadron to the 48th. And the 48th is school for mechanics.
Okay.
I said, okay. So he did, and he says, but there's one stipulation. If you don't graduate in the top of your class, you're going to be walking a dog along this fence line for the next 4 years. So that was a little pressure.
Yes,
But
it was.
sure enough, they transferred me. I went to school and graduated number 2. Number 1 guy had a 96 and I had a 95.
There you go.
So he was happy, and then got shipped out to Bitburg, Germany, and worked up in vehicle maintenance and so forth there, and had the same captain over there.
Oh man, that's good.
And it was
That's a good
pretty
thing.
strange. I said, Captain Phillips, you here too? Yeah, I'm here too. So I'm over there for 18 months, and I came back and was stationed at the Travis Air Force Base in California. I worked machine shop most of the time because we had a lot of forklifts and needed a lot of parts made.
Right. Okay.
And sure enough, guess who the captain was?
Oh man, trifecta.
Yeah.
The trifecta.
Yep. So anyways, so I got out of the military, moved back to Indiana. I couldn't handle it very long because it's just too cold. And on the farm, and everybody wanted you to work on their combines out in the snow and that kind of stuff. So I got married, and short side, my wife's mother was living down here, so we came down here and visited. And next thing I know, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas.
There you go.
And been here ever since. And I lived, around town and so forth. But I went to when I got here, I had to have a job of something.
Right.
So I looked in the paper, and there was an ad for a Ford tractor mechanic.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'll go and apply, because I worked on a bunch of those in the military as well. So I did. Applied on a Wednesday, went to work Thursday, and worked there 20 years. And I was a line mechanic, and I was like you. I drove big truck for a long time.
Right. Okay.
Because all the tractors were made in Romeo, Michigan. So I would get an empty truck, go to Romeo, Michigan, load it up with brand new tractors, and bring it back home, turn right around and go again. So
Back and forth. That's what we do.
yep. So amongst all that time, starting in 1983, I joined the National Street Rod Association.
Okay.
And there was a guy there that I knew, and he says, we're always looking for leaders inside the organization. They're called reps, in other words.
Okay.
So he says, maybe you should apply. And I did. And I think in 84, late 84, early 85, I went to work as a volunteer. And we have a special blue shirt that you wear and all that kind of stuff. We go to different rod runs and car events and so forth.
Now, at this time, did you have your hot rod?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What
Yeah.
was
Now, when I was in high school, I built my first one. It was a 33 three-window coupe Ford, flathead, multiple carburetors, that kind of stuff. When I was in the military, I had a little 62 Chevy 2 convertible. When I got out of the military, I always wanted a T-bucket roadster, so I built one of those.
Okay.
And then sold it, bought a little Morris Minor off a guy over on the north side, and made a little gasser. And I used to race out at Green Valley all the time. So I've had a multitude of cars. I mean, probably 20 or 30 different kinds.
All right. We'll get to that favorite one here in a little bit. There's always a favorite in every bunch. There's always a favorite.
So
Okay.
So, anyways,
You got out here in Fort Worth.
so I went, and I was in Fort Worth and working as a mechanic and wiring other guys' cars besides my own and so forth. I had fun. I did a lot of transmission work for friends and so forth. So. So I'm going to all these different rotting events across the country, for the National Street Rod Association. And I began to know a lot of people, was introduced to a lot of people, builders, vendors or distributors, dealers, of different parts and all those kind of things. So in '89, I'm still wearing a shirt. In '89, a friend of mine here in Fort Worth says, I know this guy that has a wiring harness company, and he's looking for someone to help him design one for hot rods.
Okay.
I'm still working at the tractor dealer. And I said, okay, I'll go talk with him. So I did. And he was building wiring harnesses for the van conversion industry back in the day, where everybody had those custom vans and all that. That's what he did. So it was kind of nice. I had all the stuff that I needed, but I just worked there at night and, doing some different things and developed.
So you working there and you working nights?
Working nights, working the tractor dealer during the day.
Okay.
And then on weekends, I would load up and go to some car show someplace.
Right, okay.
So I after the car show that I was telling you about a little while ago, where I debuted my first harness, I built 3 more and then took them down to the Pate Swap Meet. This is back when it was still down south, down at Pate Museum, and sold all 3 of them in the first 3 hours.
Wow.
And then
that's when you knew you had something.
I think we got something going here. So then I came back. I built several more, and then the Street Rod Nationals that year was held in excuse me. It was held in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
So I took 10 of them up there. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Sold them all the first morning.
Matter of fact, let me. Hey, guys. Just want to let y'all know real quick. Dunkin' Donuts, thank you guys for sponsoring our donuts and our coffee this morning. But I got hot chocolate, and I picked up somebody's coffee cup. So if y'all saw that face I made, it's because it's not mine. So let me change that, eat a donut. That, just to let y'all know, excuse me, that was the first ever I ever tasted coffee.
Is that right?
I never liked the smell of it. My big mother, they used to take us to Big Mama house, and that's what they always had was coffee. I never liked the smell of it. And now, I definitely don't like the taste of it. Man, that's gross.
I used to drink a lot of it when I was
man.
I was a scoutmaster for 7 years, and we'd take the sock, put the coffee in the
Filter,
sock and throw it in the big old blue pot and put it on the fire.
Woo, man, I don't know how y'all do it, but yeah, it's not me. I'm gonna stick with the chocolate. All right, sorry about that. But I saw the opportunity. He was taking a drink of water, so hey, I had to do something there. But thank you, Dunkin' Donuts. Thank you, Miss Lee. All right, so
sold all,
took 10.
Took 10, sold them all the first day. And then I said, we got something going here. But the nice thing about when we started all this stuff was that I knew all the dealers, whether it be Yogi's or Yearwood or Charlie Balcom or whoever it might be, that was at these shows.
Okay.
And so I had no issue at all taking, if a customer came up and said, okay, I want one, and I said, okay. I'm not going to sell it to you, but I'm going to take you over to C.W. Yearwood and let him sell it to you.
There you go.
And you feed the dealer. That's how you build a program.
That's it. That's it.
So that's what we did. That's how I did it.
Okay. Well, that's obviously it worked. And
it's still working.
It's still working. Exactly. Again, we're here with Painless Performance Products. They're here in Fort Worth, Texas. You can see them on any hood of a car. You're going to see Painless. We're thankful for him supporting us and supporting our automotive team with our youth. And so we talked about the collection of cars, over 20 something in a lifetime. So let's get to that favorite. Which one are we looking at to be the favorite?
Well, I tell you, the one I wished I had back
Okay, we always had that one.
was one I had in high school. A 56 Chevrolet convertible.
Okay.
And it was loaded. It had Wonder Bar radio. It had everything.
Had everything in there.
That's the one I wish I had back.
So have you? Will you get it back? Will you ever look for it and you wouldn't get
No,
it? Okay.
it was. I'm sure it's in the wrecking yard, crushed someplace by now.
Right.
But
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question now. We talked about you supporting us with the youth program. What do you see our youth going when it comes to the mechanic field? We know that the college people are getting degrees; they can't earn a living. We know that there's a need for mechanics and other trades. So, if you was to give advice to some kids out here, which you will at Poly when we get to Poly,
Sure.
but most of those kids are on the right track. What would you say to these kids these days who's struggling? I mean, it's just so much insecurity out here in direction. What would you say to them?
That's really a tough one. There's so many of these kids that they have the smarts, they just don't know how to use them. And a lot of them have the smarts and know how to use them, but they don't have the opportunity.
Okay.
And, like the students that you're working with now, a lot of them don't have the opportunity.
Right.
And I understand that. And 90% of our employees are not who you'd think they were. They're almost all of our employees are immigrants.
Yes, sir.
Most of them don't speak English, but we're giving them the opportunity.
There you go.
And they're thrilled to death to have that opportunity.
There you go.
And I've been to several technical schools. In fact, I've worked along several years with Texas A&M. I've been with Lincoln Tech. I've been to UTI, doing seminars and so forth.
Yes, sir.
And the key to it is if we can find one of these kids, boy or girl, it doesn't make any difference.
Right.
If we can find these kids and give them the opportunity,
Yes,
and
sir.
somehow give them the opportunity where they can succeed,
Yes, sir.
they have the opportunity in America to be like me.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate.
Well, I tell you what, one of the great things about your shop, and I've been over to the facility over there off of Beach Street, Beach and 30 here in Fort Worth, and I saw the employees, but it's like a small knit family. They and that's that culture that you've given them the opportunity. I mean, that's what's needed everywhere. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the big companies, but a lot of them don't have that culture in there. What I saw at your location, and so once again, I'm not knocking them, but there's a difference. There's a difference from what you're doing and for what a lot of other companies doing. And unfortunately, it's the love of the money, I think. I think you're more a family man, family oriented versus these big executives. It's all about the numbers, and I'm not knocking them either. Everybody has their thing. But of course, we're doing this because we're community people. We're doing it for the community people. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for reaching out, to families, to migrants, to whoever needs a job and giving them the opportunity to support their families and their kids,
Yep.
This is not our last interview with Mr. Dennis, and I thought y'all was looking for me to say that last name, but I'm gonna practice it some more before I say it again, And so, but hey, if you don't mind, if you have some time.
I got plenty of time.
Okay. The wife is out of town for a little bit. So.
She's out of town for 3 weeks.
Oh, man, you got a lot of time. So, hey, y'all go by and visit Mr. Dennis. He ain't doing nothing, He's over at Painless Wires over here in Fort Wealthy Worth. But, yeah, let's take a tour street side, introduce you to Miss Denise, and we'll end it like that. Thank you, guys. Again, thank you for the support for Painless Performance Products. We're here at Fort Wealthy Worth. We're at the Fort Wealthy Worth podcast show, and we're at Classic Caffeine and Community. Excuse me. And, hey, thank you, Mr. Dennis.
You're welcome. Glad to be here.
Hey, we'll see y'all here shortly. And until then, y'all stay blessed. Enjoy. Thank you. All right. All right.